Hello YouTube and welcome back to the channel. In today's video I am going to double up today. I've been set the challenge by Richard Runs Trails to do a landmark hometown, which I think was kicked off initially by Mihai. Everybody who runs and uses YouTube knows who Mihai is, and I'm also going to use it to give a little bit of an update of where I am in terms of training. Over the last 6 weeks, I think I've only ran a total of about 20k over the last 6 weeks. I went out a couple of times just to do a 20-minute run, and then this week, today is Sunday, this week I've done a 20-minute, a 25-minute, a 25-minute, and today I'm going to try and get a 35-minute run. I've sent a message to my coach, told him that I'm going to get back in rotation from next week, so from next week I'm going to be good to go, ramping up, building up, trying to get back up to that 50 miles. It'll take a couple of weeks, but yeah, for today it's just literally a 35-minute easy run around Portmarnock where I live, and bring you guys on the journey, show you some of the landmarks. So I've left the car park up at the big hotel where there's a lovely, nice links golf course. The town I live in, Portmarnock, is probably most famous for its golf course, old Portmarnock. So I'm going to run down that way now and I'll show you some drone footage of the two golf courses that sit literally divided by a little road, a little small tiny road divides two of the nicest golf courses in Ireland. So this is right in into the village. I don't often run through the village. I do most of my running over at Malahide Park, but on a Sunday morning when I am out, it's usually through this village. Honey, that's probably the nicest and busiest coffee shop in the village. I shall be there later. So I've just ran right down through the village. It's only a small village, Portmarnock, and I've turned now onto Beach Road, or Golf Links Road. So this will take me down to the beach. From the start of this road right down to the very finish is exactly 1 kilometer, so it's fantastic for doing interval sessions down here. I've done quite a lot of 1k repeats down here and 400s, 800s. Over the years I've done tons of interval sessions on this little road. It's usually super quiet. So right at the very bottom of this road you get the Portmarnock golf course. How's it going? How are you? Straight in the gate and onto, I think it's one of the most prestigious golf clubs in the world if I'm not mistaken. I'm not a massive golfer, but certainly a very nice, a very difficult course by all accounts. So once you're up this little path, you cross down onto the beach, and then there's one golf course is that way, Portmarnock Hotel and Golf Links is over that way, and then over there on the other side of that little path is old Portmarnock Golf Links, literally divided by this little path. When I was a kid there was no golf course on this side, it was all sand dunes, and then it must have been around 95 or 96 I think the hotel bought up the whole land and they revamped the hotel and put in a massive golf course. A little bit of a shame because the dunes used to stretch back for 8 or 9 dunes back. We used to play down when we were kids, but now there's literally just one one line of dunes going that way, because once you hop over that side, it's all golf course and there's a fence and you can't get in. No, a little bit of bittersweet, but nice golf course. Sunday morning, group of lads are out football training, getting their strength and conditioning on, which is great. So I've just come up to the top end of the beach now. It's about a 2k run I've been coming up the beach. In total I think the beach is about 4k long. We'll come up to the top end now. And this is where you have kind of street access or much larger access to the beach. Okay, so all the way up to the top end of the beach now, and as you can see behind me there's a massive yoga class going on, which is fantastic. A lot of stuff kicked off on the beach since lockdown. People started using it a lot more. I suppose we didn't have much else choice living in a small seaside town. There wasn't much else to do but come down to the beach every day, and then once the restrictions got lifted, people just continued using it, and now there's people in the water all the time, which is great even through the winter. And like I said, that yoga class must have over 100 people in it, and I don't remember ever seeing anything like that before COVID, so overall a win for the yogis. So heading out of the village now, heading up towards the next town, which is Malahide. And just as you come to the outskirts of our town, we have another hotel, a nightclub in there, plenty of nights in there as a teenager in early 20s. So it's worth taking a stop here. These big towers can be found all the way along the east coast of Ireland. It's called a Martello Tower, and thousands of years ago or so they used to keep these to light a bonfire on top if there was Vikings going to invade our country, and it was a way of letting the people around know that there was under attack. So there's one there, and you probably can't see it, but way off in the distance over in Donabate there's another one. There's one over on Lambay Island over there, and over in Howth there's one on the edge of Howth just over that way. And they follow the coast all the way around, both southwards and northwards. You find these massive Martello towers, and like I said, they would have had the bonfire right up on top, and it was just an alarm system to let the people around know that there was some danger approaching. Anyway, on with the run. I've done 5k so far. I'm cruising along at 5:15 average per kilometre. I'm feeling really easy, so that's a really good sign for me in terms of my health. So coming up off the coast now, this is pretty much where Portmarnock begins to meet Malahide. Going out that way, and this little spot just here is where we meet. Our running club meets here, or runs down to here, and this is where we would stop and do our warm-up stretches, little drills, and then there's a footpath I'm going to run along here. We meet at this gate. There could be 40 or 50 people here on a Tuesday night doing all sorts of stretching stuff, and before they set off in their intervals. We usually do our intervals around here as an 800 metre loop, and then they can head off and get some hills as well, so it's a perfect area for some nice little warm-up stretches and drills and then intervals. So that little turning point around point just there, just at that gate, that's exactly where Portmarnock and Malahide meet. So I've done a U-turn right at the outskirts of town, and I'm going to head back down. But that's pretty much the tour of our town. And that's it for Richard Runs Trails. I'll give a poke to those other people that you suggested do the challenge as well. I think it's a good idea for the running community to see where we run. So once you come in off the coast on this little trail, or on this little piece of tarmac loop, there's a little bit of an incline going up here, and I use this, sometimes I use this to do my hill blast. So I go from that bench there and I run up to that bench there, and it's perfect. It takes about 10 seconds to get between the two. You're going to all out, full on stride, pumping those knees high, and I find it's like the perfect little area to do the hill blast. Before heading back down onto the coast and heading back towards the car, I decided to just run up what this is a real landmark in Portmarnock running. It's Paddy's Hill. So I just ran up the steepest part of Paddy's Hill, and I think 8 weeks ago I came up there and I was gasping the whole way up, and I had to stop and walk because I was just out of breath and the legs felt like they were cemented them. So I've just done it now, and I've run all the way up, keeping about that 5:20 per kilometre pace, and it felt relatively easy. A little bit of shortness of breath, as you can hear, but overall a really good sign that the medication has worked and the iron supplement has worked, and it seems like I'm back to normal. So there's a good outlook for the immediate future. Anyway, back down to the car, back down to the coast. So this little ice cream hut has been here for an age, and this is where our club meet on a Sunday morning. So Sunday morning around 9 AM, or this time of year marathon training is usually 8, could go even earlier. Could be 10, 12, 20 people meeting here, heading off on their long easy run. This is definitely a stalwart. Over the years we would have done lots of hill or lots of repeats from here up and down to the village. It's exactly a mile from here down to the church, and yeah, I remember years ago up and down this road down 1 mile repeats. Oh yeah, that's the little ice cream hut. This is the top end of the town. The village is down that way. The car's about a minute run from here. Boom! Run done! That is Portmarnock in a nutshell. Basically just going down the coast, back up the beach, over Paddy's Hill, back to the starting point. Hope you enjoyed that, guys. Remember, run far, but most of all, run sensible.